Bees have changed the landscape, have painted the landscape in different timescales. They've changed it in geological time, going back 300 million years ago up till today. There's been dramatic changes in the landscape. That's a consequence of bees and their pollinating activities. They also change the landscape in context of decades. You can travel through the Central Valley of California, where I'm from, and you can see all these crops that are planted out there. The landscape is beautiful. It's been transformed primarily because of bees. The bees are used for pollinating agricultural crops of value, but this has just taken place over a number of decades, where for instance, the almond orchards in California have doubled in the last 20, 30 years. And they're spectacular in the blooms that they put out. And seed alfalfa has boomed in the Central Valley of California. And you can see single fields that are more than a mile square, sitting out and with their beautiful purple flowers associated with them. And this all took place in a matter of decades, over my lifetime. When you look at almonds, if you drive from Bakersfield, which is in the southern part of the Central Valley of California, up to Red Bluff, which is up in the northern end of the Central Valley of California, it's about 640 kilometers. As you drive up there in the spring in March, you'll just see acre after acre after acre, mile after mile of almonds. That's the time of year that they bloom. They bloom in March, typically. With spectacular colors that the floral colors are determined by the different varieties that are being planted. But overall, 640 kilometers, you end up with about 400,000 hectares. Actually, it's closer to 500,000 now. There's 280 trees per hectare, 28,000 flowers per tree. 7,000 almonds are produced per tree. There's 7.5 million flowers per hectare, which means there's about 112 million trees up the Central Valley of California. It produces 3 trillion flowers and about 750 million almonds, and a cash crop value to the state of California of about, in agriculture, $5 billion. As far as bees are concerned, the recommended rate or number of colonies per hectare for pollination is 6 hives per hectare. That means there's about 2 million hives required in California to pollinate all of these crops. Most of those have to come in from out of state. They come in from virtually every state in the United States into California to help pollinate the almond crop, and that represents about 60 billion bees. So it's quite a huge industry. It's got a huge impact, and it has a huge beauty factor with respect to the landscape. Alfalfa is another one. Lots and lots of alfalfa is grown. Alfalfa yields about 2,000 kilograms of nectar per hectare. I mean, that's a whole lot of honey that can come out of an alfalfa crop. There's about 13 kilograms of seed. Now, we're talking about growing seed alfalfa. This is for seed, not for hay. 13 kilograms of seed per hectare if you don't have bees out there. But if you do have bees in the field, you can get about 900 kilograms of seed per hectare. So bees have a huge impact on the alfalfa crop. And alfalfa has a huge impact on our lives. For instance, the hay is, well, the seed that's grown is used to make hay. The hay is fed to cows. Cows give us shoes. They also give us milk, which can be made into ice cream, which is sold at baseball games. So, I mean, the spread, the effect, the economic effect and the spread of bee activity on seed alfalfa effects on our lives is very broad. Landscapes can also change on a scale of hours. Alfalfa flowers bloom in the morning. When they bloom in the morning, they're very beautiful color purple. This flower here, as you can see, has not been tripped yet. It hasn't been visited by a pollinator. But then as the day goes on, the flowers get tripped, like this one here. And as soon as the flowers are tripped, they start turning a pinkish color. And if you look out across a field at mid-morning or so, you'll see areas that have been pollinated. They've turned sort of this pale pink color. And then you'll see areas of the field where the bees have not yet got to it that hasn't been pollinated as much. And so you can see patches over the course of over a field where the bees have been working the field and pollinated the flowers. And they're already changing color. And then other areas of the field where the flowers are still fresh and they haven't yet been pollinated, so they're not senescing. And you can get this changing patchwork as the bees are painting the landscape over the course of a day.